AED and push hard and fast at the center of the chest at a rate of 100 to 120 compressions per minute. During an emergency, the 911 dispatcher may be able to instruct you on how to do hands-only CPR. For more information on hands-only CPR, go to handsonlycpr.org, refer to your student workbook, or ask your instructor. In this course, we will tell you when you may need to provide CPR. If you know how to provide conventional CPR, which is compressions and breaths, provide that. If you don't know conventional CPR, provide hands-only CPR. When you give first aid, you or someone else will get the first aid kit and will also be asked to get an AED. An AED can be used along with CPR when a person is unresponsive and isn't breathing normally or is only gasping. The AED, or automated external defibrillator, is a lightweight, portable device that can identify an abnormal heart rhythm that needs a shock. The AED can then deliver a shock that can convert a rhythm back to normal. AEDs may be located in a company's main office, a building's high-traffic area, a break room, a high-risk area such as a gym, anywhere the most people will see and have access to them when an emergency occurs. It is very important that you become aware of the location of the nearest first aid kit and AED so that you may provide the best possible help to someone who is ill or injured. As part of First Aid Basics, your role as a first aid rescuer is to recognize that an emergency exists. Make sure the scene is safe for you and the ill or injured person. Phone 911 and provide care until someone with more advanced training arrives and takes over. You become an important part of Emergency Medical Services, or EMS. EMS is a network of emergency responders that you activate by calling 911. Another first aid basic that applies to almost all emergencies is to ask if you may help. Anyone has the right to refuse you. When you come upon an ill or injured person and the person responds, introduce yourself as a first aid provider before you touch the person. Then, ask if you may help. If the person agrees, give first aid. If the person refuses, phone 911 and stay with him until help arrives. If the person is confused or can't answer, assume the person wants help. Also, it's important to know that first aid kits should contain the supplies you'll need in most common emergencies. Your student workbook contains a list of what is usually kept in a kit. Your kit may be different, however, so please check the first aid kit against your list to see if there are additional items you need to add. Be sure to restock it after any emergency. By taking this first aid course, you are benefiting yourself as a rescuer and the ill or injured person. Initially, you may have thoughts like Janice when she and John first came upon the landscaper near the school.
Wow, this doesn't look good.
I hope John knows what to do, because I sure don't.
Janice isn't alone in her hesitancy to act. You may be worried about doing the right thing or worried that someone else could provide better care, or even the sight of the injury itself might be overwhelming. Taking the American Heart Association's Heart Saver First Aid course increases your confidence and ability to respond in emergency situations. Just like John, you'll be more likely to help if a family member, coworker, friend, or even someone you don't know becomes ill or injured. And if you have questions regarding whether or not it's legal to provide someone first aid, all states have Good Samaritan laws. These laws protect anyone who provides first aid. They differ from state to state, so be sure to check the laws in your area. When something like this happens, what do? In a matter of seconds, you need to act. But there are several things to consider as you start to provide first aid. First, make sure the scene is safe. Be aware of any danger for you, the ill or injured person, and anyone else nearby. This is an important step. Do it every time you are providing help. Continue to assess the scene while you provide first aid to be aware of anything that might change and make it unsafe. You can't help anyone if you're injured yourself. When you look around, ask yourself these questions. Is there danger for you or the ill or injured person? Move an injured person only if he is in danger, or if you need to move him to safely provide first aid or CPR. Are others around to help? If so, have someone phone 911. If no one else is near, phone for help yourself. Who is ill or injured? Can you tell how many people are hurt and what happened? Where are you? You'll need to tell others how to get to you, in particular the 911 dispatcher. If there are other bystanders at the scene, send one of them to meet the paramedics and lead them to the scene. As you assess the need for first aid, it's important to know when and how to phone for help. Phoning 911 activates a network of responders through EMS. As a general rule, you should phone 911 and ask for help whenever someone is seriously ill or injured and you are not sure what to do in an emergency. Here are some examples. The person doesn't respond to voice or touch, has chest discomfort signaling possible heart attack, has signs of stroke, has a problem breathing, has a severe injury or burn, has severe bleeding, has a seizure, suddenly can't move a part of the body, has received an electric shock, or has been exposed to poison. You will learn more about the signs and first aid actions for these medical and injury emergencies later in the course. But when an emergency happens, what do you do if you're alone? For example, if John had been by himself when he found the landscaper in front of the school, he should do the following.
Are you okay?
Shout for help. If no one answers and the person needs immediate care and you have a cell phone, phone 911 and put the phone on speaker mode. The emergency dispatcher could provide further instruction and tell you how to give first aid, provide CPR, and use an AED.
Sir, are you okay? Are you okay? Help! Help! I need some help!
911, what's your emergency?
There's a man down on the school lawn. I'm checking his breathing. He's breathing normally, but unresponsive.
What's your address?
I'm at the Mitchell School, near the corners of Elm and Cherry Streets. 35 Cherry Street.
Okay, Mitchell School, near the corner of Elm and Cherry Streets. 3535 Cherry Street. I've dispatched paramedics, so they're on the way. Is he on a flat surface?
Yes, he's on the lawn.
Does he have any injuries? Any medical information, jewelry on?
I'm checking.
Or, if you're with others during an emergency, then you would do as John and Janice did. They worked together. John started assessing the need for first aid while Janice phoned 911. When you're on the phone with the dispatcher, don't hang up until the dispatcher tells you to. Answering all the dispatcher's questions won't delay the arrival of help. And be aware of your surroundings. Knowing the address of your location will help emergency responders reach you more quickly. It's also important for you to know how to phone for help from your location. Do you know how to activate the emergency response number in your workplace? For example, is it necessary to dial 9 for an outside line? Or is there an internal number to phone that will notify responders that are on site? For the purpose of this course, we will say phone 911 as the emergency response number. The video will now pause for you to write down the emergency response number for your location in your student workbook.